young and flourishing, transforming Africa. A very good evening to all of you. You who is watching us, wherever you're watching us from, thank you so much for watching Church of Uganda Family TV, and thank you so much for choosing Church of Uganda Family TV to be your #1 inspirational channel. I welcome you to Flourishing Hub. Edrine Osteeen Mukalazi is my name. Flourishing Hub is a program brought to you by Young and Flourishing Foundation, and this program is centered around improving your mindset as a young person so that you can thrive through this world, irrespective of the economic situation, irrespective of your background. What is important is what you have initiated and how you follow it up until you see yourself successful. And as we always remind you that Young and Flourishing Foundation is built on 4 pillars, and one of these pillars is money. We all need money, but what can we do to have this money? Young and Flourishing teaches you how to work and get this money, how to save the money, but most importantly, how to invest this money so that it can accumulate. Secondly, daring in life, because we want you to be to be part of this campaign where we are having a youth campaign in transforming Africa business-wise. So as Africans, as Ugandans, this is a very important pillar to all of us. And the third one is mentorship. Young and Flourishing offers you mentors, because you need mentors. You need people who speak in your life, people who speak success in your life, people who show you the light where there is darkness. And that is why we are here. And the last one is, of course, strategy. So when we talk about the pillars, one of our pillars is daring. And in daring, we cannot talk about daring and forget business. This evening, we have a special person who is going to digest and disseminate this topic. Wow, I'm already excited before the discussion begins. We will have the one Jackline Nanteza. Jackline Nanteza is the founder and a managing director of a company whose name is so interesting. Wouldn't you really want to know about this company name? It is called Stress Free. Stress Free and Serene Events. So these are people who do events planning and management. So they plan for our weddings, and I hope Brenda Mahoro and Monday and Ronald, our upcoming brides and grooms, please, we have the right person here to guide you. But also, she's a mentor in Young and Flourishing. She's passionate about inspiring and mentoring young people. So she's an award-winning events manager, events planner. So when we talk about business, she knows what business is. She knows how to start. She knows how to thrive through in business. That is why she has registered this success she has. Join me as we welcome her onto this show. Jackline, you're most welcome onto this show, Flourishing Hub, this evening. Kindly greet our viewers, and then we dissect our topic.
Thank you, Edrine. Good evening to our viewers. Thank you for hosting me. I am really honored to be on Family TV today. And my name is Jackline Nanteza, an event/wedding planner with Stress Free and Serene Events, where we plan. I really usually don't like calling myself a director or something. I like calling myself an event planner, where we plan and manage events from concept to completion, or from start to finish. We understand our client, whether it's a company, a corporate space, or it's a couple. We understand them, follow the objective in case of a wedding, understand their personality when they were growing up, before social media covered that scene with YouTube, Instagram, photos, and everything. We funnel down, create a concept, form a budget, source vendors, and manage that same event. We aim at giving a stress-free event.
Wow, stress-free. Like I said earlier, I'm in love with this name, stress-free, and because I know how tethering weddings can be.
Yeah, that's why we called it stress-free, because we are stressed.
So that we, the clients, can be stress-free.
So we carry the stress. So for you can be free. And I mean, just come to say I do. Mostly when a gentleman says, will you marry me? They are in love. But because of the market pool, there are very many vendors, there are very many suggestions. Then there is the budget constraint and everything. They start questioning the decision. Did I choose the right partner? Because the lady is busy thinking, you're not paying this money, you don't love me. Then the guy is thinking, the lady is extravagant. Do I want this kind of woman? So they actually are right for each other. The problem is the market pool. So for us, we are there to, as a database, to funnel down everything, choose what speaks to them, and give them a stress-free event.
Okay. Wow, this is so interesting. Now, our topic today is business and passion. These are two broad words, English words, business and passion. And I believe they must work together. So you're talking about a stress-free and serene events. And you've said that you are stressed so that the clients can be stress-free.
Yeah.
And why do you choose a business that is so stressing, yet the clients are not in any way stressed? They're just there to enjoy their freedom. And you, the appropriate of the business, you're struggling and you're stressed at the end of the day.
So when I was invited here to talk about passion, to me it really made sense, because you can't be in this business if it's not passion. Many times I've asked myself, but why? Why did I choose this? Why did I choose this? So I really think this business chose me. It chose me because I'm behind, I'm an accountant, I'm an auditor, and that is the life I knew. I have traits of being analytical, and that was my world. But there was the bit of passion that I lived on my day-to-day, because this year we make 9 years, but when you date back when we started to the 9th year, that was around 2013. It was passion. We call that year, by then we didn't even have the name, and I would say me actually, because I didn't have a team. By then I didn't have a name. I kept doing these things that looked like wedding planning, but I didn't know that I was doing wedding planning. It took me an eye-opener, was a year later for me to realize that I can do this kind of
thing. That was 2014?
Yeah.
A year later, after 2013?
Yes. Yes, that was. So to me, when you ask me business and passion, passion drives the start of a business. Normally, people want to start a business of how do I make money? You start thinking of ideas and you burn out along the way.
We move out there in the streets and we are asking, what is the most profitable business that I can venture in?
That when you're asking that question, it becomes a deal. You know, when you're asking yourself, what can I do today? Can I buy this and I sell tomorrow? That becomes a deal. But when you let passion nurture this business, by the time you are there, you're caught up, you can't go back, because there are challenges. There are challenges. So you're not pushed out of the business because you're passionate about it. So when you ask me, business is where you go and work like your daily profession, but then you must earn out of it. And then at the same time, you should be passionate about this business. And also you should be happy about it. You should feel comfortable. You should thrive when you're doing this work, even when it's stressing. So when you ask me my greatest moment at a wedding, I can get stressed from 3 a.m. when we are waking up and we are running around with the saloon, the breakfast, the photographers, the makeup. But my greatest joy is when the event is it's like at 9, everyone is dancing happy, the couple is happy. That is my greatest payment. So if you ask me, that's my passion.
That is passion indeed. And now we are looking at business and passion. So you've dissected the understanding, a layman's understanding of passion. but we now want to understand business, because I threw in something and you told you are trying to create a difference between a deal and a business. Now, how can we...
Business deal.
Yeah.
It's a business deal.
Business, but not a business.
But if you want something consistent, it has other traits. Passion alone cannot
We start from there.
Yes.
What are those business traits that you're talking about?
Well, you have to have the financial discipline. You have to have the managerial skills, because you have a team to run and all that. But what I'm trying to say is that passion alone might not sustain you year after year. As a person, I think I was helped by passion and personal traits. Being an auditor kind of person, analytical, it helped me so much in event management. I'm always looking at what is wrong, what is about to fall, to do that damage control. Then also I have a touch of art. I did fine art up to my senior 6 and I got a B. That's why I stopped. I didn't know it would follow me later. So looking at beautiful things has really helped me, aiming at that even when a client comes in office, they later get to trust that Jackie knows something. She has to comment about this. What do you think of this shoe? What do you think of this gown? It's not that I'm corrupting what they want. I follow their interests, but they believe. So there's also the financial aspect. You need capital, and definitely most young people will struggle because you're starting a journey of hearsay. You're telling people, I can do this, I can do this. There's no experience, then you don't have capital to inject. Time and time again, I have seen many people come with money. When they're not good at something, they inject it in social media. And these days, people follow social media, you know? So they inject it in social media. And when every time someone is looking for a service, goes on Instagram, it's like, I'll go with this person. Do you actually think they can do it? Can you prove, you know? So business goes with many things. There's obviously a team and so much.
Okay. So Uganda is one of the African countries that has people who are so creative when it comes to business. Very many of us, even as you're walking on the streets, a business idea flashes into your minds and you start seeing a lot of possibilities. And very many people have started very many businesses. Even as we are talking about them, like, that person doesn't do it well. How can you lose in such a business? So that is our Uganda. Unfortunately, very many people have started these businesses, and these businesses have not seen the first birthday. What do you think would be the problem? Now that you've had this stress-free and Serene Events company for 9 years.
So what I have to say, maybe I can talk about my journey. It will help you understand, because my idea didn't just come up like that. I helped people not knowing. So you remember there's something called experience?
Yes.
So I helped people not knowing that I was actually doing this. Passionately, I gave myself to run around, help this bride's shop, you know. So to me...
Free of charge?
Yeah, free of charge.
Were they your friends? Or you could just
actually,
find any bride you find on the way and
mostly
go with
it started with helping on committee bridal entourage. So the idea comes up, the couple that made 8 years this year, that I was called by a friend and he said, I want you to help me on this entourage. I'm like, but I don't know this couple, you know? He's like, no, Jackie, I've seen you work. Please come help us. So I'm like, okay. So I remember I used to live in Mukono and I took a border in the middle of the night in the rain to go and help. I wasn't going to be paid. But for some reason, there's a way when it's the day I am charged up, like a robot ready to work. So I work and work, but the groom didn't even know me at first because I'd moved with a lady for just bridal shopping. When I started, I used to really help only the ladies' side. And when I was carrying things later in the afternoon, I was really tired and exhausted. And then a gentleman told me, you're tired. Okoye ne sente wezityo. I looked at this guy, I'm like, I'm not paid. That is how this business started. But I had moved like almost a year and a half doing this, passionately willing to help. I go home and I'm watching, there's a gentleman called David Tetura. He'll always be part of my story. I used to watch him before, but after that statement the day before, that's when I looked at him. I'm like, I'm a wedding planner. What I'm doing is wedding planning, you know? So one thing I identified was wedding planning in Uganda was not there, was as good as not there. People either would hire a decorator and then ask them, where can I get a DJ? So someone could easily put that on their company.
Some other people would suggest them in meetings.
Yeah, it's like a committee. So I had to appreciate the fact that I'm not going to force this idea on people. So I now this time intentionally started volunteering. So the first time we called this company Stress-Free Weddings. That was the first name we gave it. So we gave it Stress-Free Weddings, and I start alone. I remember I asked someone in the bank where I used to go, and they accepted for me to help. Then another person in Sanlam. It started building, referral after referral. Someone be like, okay, I'll give you something. I'll give you some transport. So 90% of this start, I used my salary where I was employed. But you realize I am building a business. I'm not rushing to wanting to earn from it, you know, because it's not there. In Uganda, you need to convince. And truthfully, people laughed at me. They laughed at the name, Stress-Free. They laughed at the name, then they laughed at the whole idea, because that is a broad kind of thing. This business, why I say it chose me, every time I even tried to give up on it, I would get a phone call. I saw you on someone's wedding. I wasn't looking for these clients at some point. That's how I started from. I remember the first charge was 200,000, then 500,000. Then someone later paid me 2 million, you know? I'm like, so now we later incorporated this company in 2017 because I wanted to go corporate side. I wanted to bid, and I needed all those documents. So that's how I called it Stress-Free and Serene. Serene is after my daughter. She's called Serena. Yeah, so I named a company Stress-Free and Serene. Serene means calm, beautiful, you know? So if you do not give the time, this business, and you want to rush it, to force it on people's minds, I'm doing this, buy, people will be like, okay, something like that. So it has stood that test of time. That's what I can say. So when it comes to, I could say, passion helped me to be consistent, to willingly wake up and go and help. It did not matter how much I was earning, how much I was going home with. So any person trying to start a business and either you're innovative, that you think is so good and the country needs it, there it will take off. But if you're trying to bring something in the market that is new, far-fetched, you're repressing like an old kind of myth. I mean, there are committees and they're always saying, why do you need a wedding planner?
Yes.
So if you're trying to close off that part, you need to give it time. You need to show people, I am solving a problem.
Do you want to be a world-class innovator? A world-class inventor? Do you want to change the face of Africa as a young person? Here is the answer. Thank you so much for watching Flourishing Hub. Flourishing Hub is a program brought to you by Young and Flourishing Foundation. And the main focus, or the main reason we are here this evening, is to help you transform your mind and change your mindset. We want to give you the right mindset that is going to help you thrive through this world. Edrine Osteeen Mukalazi is my name. And with us is the one events planner. Now, Brenda Mahoro, wherever you are, please make sure you look out for this events planner. She'll help you work on your wedding. So, Jackline,
Yes,
we are back, and I understand, people have a lot of illusions, like love grows, so even when you don't love someone, you can go with them and then on the way. love will grow. I mean, I'm now bringing this in business. You've talked about passion and business, that you started stress-free weddings out of passion, out of love, and this much love never let you give up. I'm looking at a situation. Is it possible that I can start this business without passion, but I have my idea, I have my capital maybe, and I can do all the formalities. Is it possible that passion can follow me, or passion is the first thing before I think of starting a business?
First of all, do you know that you can be passionate about business? Like, there are people who are career men and women. Mm-hmm. When you put them in business, really, they can't thrive there. But then they thrive when you put them in business, they can't thrive, but they are good employees. They are holding huge MD offices and so on. So passion really can be what you're good at. Mm. So being good, you can be good at business. So if you get an idea and you're not passionate about it, a company is not made by the MD alone. Mm. In fact, you have a small bit of it. You're directing the company. The end result is that please recruit the right passionate people about the idea you are trying to implement, so it will work out. It doesn't mean that you need to. I've had someone ask me, you're good at this thing, you're passionate about it, can you try to suggest for me what? And then I try to tell them, do some soul searching. Basically, I didn't do any soul searching. Mm. I kept doing something. And I've had a friend of mine say, I have OCD. I kept cleaning things. Then I decided to do a cleaning company. So we are a portion of business owners that followed our passion. But that doesn't mean that you need to wait till passion kicks in. Yeah, so you can start a business if you're good at business, because the facts are clear. Okay. The data, the finances, the organization behavior, the management. One thing I've realized that even when you're passionate, these degrees that we've done, or whichever level of education you've done, it helps you to run a business, because it teaches you about the team, about how to maneuver in all these things. You can be passionate, and the other determinants of this economy throw you off board. You're passionate, you don't have capital. You're passionate, then there is the tax whole thing. You're passionate, you don't have a good team. So it's not only about passion. This shouldn't demoralize people who are saying, I'm not passionate about something,
so I can't start it.
No, be innovative. Creativity doesn't have passion. It's not about passion, creativity. That is also another section. There are people who are innovative. There are people who are passionate. There are people who are good managers. Every angle you come in, make sure you bring in the other parties.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So, before the break, you had talked about the journey of stress-free weddings and how it rebranded to Stress-Free and Serene Events Limited. Now, I want you to tell us why, to help someone out there, and tell them why it is important for someone to legalize their business.
Yeah, like I've said, me saying 9 years of business doesn't reflect on my certificate of incorporation. I started this thing, but I did it informally. Basically, as a person, I was trying to study the market. I was trying to introduce the name. I was doing analysis, data. I was researching, because as event planners, we are a database. Someone can ask you, do you know this decorator? You don't know that decorator. So what kind of event planner are you? Do you know this hotel? Can you call this hotel? So I gave the business time, its research time, and invested my time in, because I felt it was immature for me to jump in and convince people I can do this fully on board when I was still gathering my information. So, but at the end of the day, when I wanted to cross to the corporate, I remember I was trying to get pre-qualified with Ministry of Works, and I needed the documents, I needed the papers. That's when it hit me that I need to register the company. So it was just I didn't even reserve a business name, by the way. Even when I was doing it, I didn't even have my business name registered with URSB.
I partly think because it is a unique one.
Yeah, I was lucky that when I came and they were like, I remember the registrar was like, give me some 3 options because one might be rejected. I was like, no, stress-free is not there. So, and I was lucky to find that stress-free was there. Yeah, so ever since then you maneuver in many things. There's a business club I'm in, BNI, you can't join it when you don't have registered company. Basically, you can't be trusted. And if you really want to be serious with this passion, because passion is just passion, but you choose to take it, to mold it into a business. So one of the steps of molding it into a business is take a step of registering the company and believe and work towards saving that company. Because when you're still operating behind doors, when lockdown hits, for example, you'd be like, let me move on to another company, or let me move on to another idea. But once you've registered, you try to fight for this business.
You try to fight for this name.
Yeah, for the name.
Wow, this is a very interesting discussion. I believe you who is watching us out there, this discussion is benefiting you. And I believe by the time we wind up at the top of the hour, you'll be the next business what? Business owner. Okay. Well. So we are looking at business and we are looking at passion at the same time. And we've also you've talked about the beauty of registering. We've talked about passion. And now let us talk about commitment in business. How have you been able to keep your customer base, but also attract more clients to come and trust you with their events?
So I think every business owner needs what they call a unique selling point, something that is about you. And to me, I have a friend of mine who told me that everyone has a customer. You know, they can say the market is congested, but everyone has a customer. But it all comes from your unique selling point. So I come from an angle of being passionate about events and happily ever afters. That is love. Me growing up, I watched love stories. I read love story books, and I can be engrossed in the book, and I am happy and I am beaming even when I'm from a problem. Once I'm done with that movie, it's a very nice mood for me. So you find that my business, it's like my haven, it's like my solace. I thrive on these happily ever after stories that I work on. And once you're that natural and that passionate about what you're doing, a client will notice the change between a person who is just being professional, is about just being about the money, or when can we have an appointment, when can you come in, no, I can't see you, you're late, things like that. For us, we nurture, at our space, I call it the home of stress-free. I have had clients come in saying, I have a few minutes, I'm here for a short time, and then they sit for hours. They sit for hours and listen in. So it has something to do with your unique selling point. We start from a level of, we want these people, we give them what they call the discovery journey. We start saying, so how did you meet? About the love story? How do you want your church to be? By the time this person leaves, they will know the difference of just choosing a service provider or choosing a service provider with your wedding planner, and the wedding planner being stress-free. I don't want to lie to you. We've not done a lot of marketing. All our clients have come from referral. I saw you at a wedding or someone gave me your number. So it has something to do with your unique selling point. And passion dictates that. A unique selling point that you can't fake, because you can have a unique selling point of for us we do this, the other person does that. But when it is natural, when it's coming from who you are, counseling, understanding couples, giving them time to choose their best interests has helped my couples trust us, and they just hand over. They're like, no, what, you're in charge of this event. So it takes 1 or 2 meetings, and our client who wants to close with us will close. And from that client, they will be the one to spread the gospel. So unique selling point is the only thing that has helped me. I strictly get the phone calls of, I heard about you, I have seen you work, I was on a committee, I attended a wedding, and in the process, even the service providers have appreciated working with us.
So when we're talking about registering, there's something you say that when you register, at least even when a lockdown, of course, much as we have threats of lockdown this time, we pray that it doesn't come up. But you say that at least you have a name to fight for, a name to keep you as thriving through, because you don't want to lose this business. Now, we are looking at moments of hardship, because we understand very many young people have been blown off by whichever wind that comes. COVID-19 left very many down.
3 phase.
Exactly.
It was 3 phase.
Yes, that 3 phase left very many young people down, and up to now, some are still struggling to stand again. Others just gave up and moved on. Some have even gone back to be other people's employees. You know, there are a lot of challenges. So, have you, in Stress-Free and Serene Events, have you in any way encountered challenges that have pressed you to reach a point where you want to give up? And if they're there, how have you managed to overcome them?
Oh, many times. Many times. First of all, choosing career over the business, because I started the business when I was employed. So choosing career over business was a very tough call for me, because I was really committed to my job. Yeah, but I really think, like I've said, that Stress-Free chose me, and all the time I ask God, lead me. So even when I go through a hard situation, somehow it usually works out with believing. But I don't want to lie to you. As a business owner, I have had times of falling down, for example, the lockdown. But one thing I've learned, what Young and Flourishing that represents is mentorship. When you have when you're among business owners that believe in you, and then you also see them struggle with this, and like, let's do this together. I joined a club in 2020. It's called BNI, Business Network International. To me, that has changed my life. Because of BNI, I officially opened my office. Because of BNI, I did a website. I always told myself a wedding planner needs a website, but never done it. So what it helped me is mentorship. I kept thriving, but then also strategy. So when there is a lockdown, the question is, what are you doing? So me, in the lockdown, it's when I sat down to write a script for my website. And by the time they opened, my website was online. 2, I have done a lot of writing. Weddings, it's usually something easy for me to snap. When you wake me up and you give me a topic, I just want. So sometimes I've written for Bride and Groom magazine. And most of these times I would sit down and I just write my blogs, and they would make me believe in this. Then recently I got sick, actually this year. I got sick, and I realized my mind, when you're the vision bearer, you're the one to bring a new strategy, you're the one to bring a new client on board, and you're down. It is tough. But like I said, when you have a team, and also realizing that it's not a do or die, you know, when you keep trying to force things, you crash. But when you give yourself time of like, okay, I need to rest, I need to heal, I am coming back, because you know what you're doing is, you're passionate about it. You can't fail about it. I mean, I came back September, and it's like I've never been away. This whole, like, I remember when I came back to office, I wrote on my status, Happy New Year, because to me 2022 had just started. But if you hear what I'm saying every day, the ideas before I close this year. So to me, the days are there, the people you have, the team, the systems you have at office, and also the mentorship around you, friends and family. But it's not a do or die. Accept when your body can't support you, when they say they've closed. Don't allow depression to take you down. Of late, I'm writing a book, and I'm trying to, because I've had scenarios in my life where
Jackline,
I fall and come out.
The moments when you feel you should give up, when you feel you should close up this business, it's not bringing in returns, and move on to some other business perspective, or you feel business that all the business thing is a myth, you should just write your applications, go be employed, and you rather get stressed in your boss's places of work other than managing your own. So we want to help someone out there who is watching us about this. You are telling us that yes, it is true, there are moments, and yes, accept them, but after accepting them, how can I raise up again?
So I think my life has really depended on God. I'm a person who really asks God everything I do. So I have one policy. I usually tell my sister that I don't want to fall down for more than a week. If something hurts me, I'll cry one day, and then I'm depressed about it. But I usually tell myself, snap out of it. But in the process, I'm praying. I like telling God, like, show me a sign. And all this time, all these years, I've always got a sign. I can even retreat back to my house to an extent of I'm not going to office, but then I'll get a phone call. And once I have prayed that show me a sign, and I get a phone call, it's like, do you think, even if it's just an inquiry, to me that's a point of get up. This business still has its moment, So it has always been like that. And in life, you burn out all the time if you don't take time off to reflect. And one thing I've learned of late is that every time you reflect, the new ideas come from there. The best strategies come from the hardest moment of your life. I really believe that people should keep believing and praying, and they shouldn't give up. They shouldn't give up. It has worked for me.
Why do you give up? Do not give up. Stay strong. There is hope. Like the Bible says that there is hope even when a tree is cut, that it will blossom again. Now, I'm looking at someone who has whatever it takes to start up a business like you do. What do they need to have? What do they need to do? Is there a special course they need to go and study? Is there a special training they should have? Is there a special framework that they should follow before investing in such a business? And do you even at any time register losses? Or because throughout the year people are marrying and
losses every day. But research to me is compulsory. Research. You said something that someone attends a wedding and they're like, I can do this decoration, I can be a DJ. Those are impulse decisions. They are not researched. You're there 1 year and you're selling the same machines. You're an event planner, for example, as me. You hire a decorator and you look at they are complaining about decoration codes, so let me just talk about it. You look at the decoration code, you're like, I am the lowest paid. I remember there's a wedding I did at the start and I was the lowest paid service provider. So a person of greed will start saying, but I can do this decoration. Because the client is coming to you first, you now want to cut off the decorator. But that is an impulse decision and it is based on hunger for money. So you won't survive, basically. So whichever business that you think, I have time, I have capital and I want to start a business. Sit down, write down the ideas that you think you can thrive. What are you comfortable with? And then research further, because decoration doesn't look like, you see, decoration is even a composition of many things. There's someone doing lighting, they're taking that money. There's someone doing board, they're taking that money. But because the quotation is coming from one decorator, you think that decorator is taking a lot of money. So research. You might make a loss for just booking a decoration job. You decide, I know whatever these things entail and I have my money. Before you know it, you're paying extra labor. Before you know it, the truck that you loaded your things on got spoiled and you're loading another truck and you're in a loss. So losses are there in business. Even when you've researched, they are bad decisions sometimes, but you need to always review and know where you made a mistake. So do not make an impulse decision of, I see everyone going to China to import tents, let me also import tents. There's a problem, you know. And these are the same questions I get. How much are these things? Can I also invest in them? Please go ahead, but I mean, where are you getting the market? I told you that I had to give my business time by introducing, first of all, my name in the field, by also introducing wedding planning. And of today, there are very many wedding planners compared to when I actually started saying I'm a wedding planner. These days, someone will be like, oh, you're a wedding planner. They appreciate it. But there were days where it was unheard of. You're a wedding planner, so what will my family do? What will the committee do? So there are very many aspects.
Some people even tell us, I have a team that is coming from the village that will do that work. You don't need a planner.
Enjoy. I mean, even, you see, an event is full of many things. Even when a wedding planner is there, there's some damage control to do. You know, there's rain, there's what. So you have a chairman organizing committee. He arrives in the morning. He does not know what chair you chose. He just knows there's a decorator coming. And he's busy saying, decorator, where are you? You're late. He does not know even what that quotation entails. If you ask him what a charger plate is, he doesn't even know. He might say, why do we have charger plates? Remove them, you know? So you need someone who understands the service provider. The committee has rough-rided service providers, and in the process, they don't deliver. If someone is supposed to take photos smiling, but from the time he left his house, there's some phone call rough-riding him. Where are you? You're late. Katimta and so tulimba. You know, we paid our money. By the time the person arrives to take photos, are they still smiling?
No.
Are they going to give you the best?
No.
They're just taking shots and they will just deliver whatever they deliver. So a wedding planner helps you in both ways. But going back to business is that you need to research, write down the idea, see what is applicable. Wedding planning, when I started it, it wasn't applicable in Uganda. So there was no reason for me to rush to register this company and then close office. It's until I saw people appreciate it that I took the next step.
Okay. Now, as we come to the close of this show, the remaining minutes, I want you to bring hope, to speak hope into someone out there who is watching us, who had lost hope in business. Maybe they have invested in very many businesses and they have lost lots of money out of investments. They have been cheated at some points, you know, a lot of things. Now, please advise them and speak hope to them.
So first of all, if you want money, you need to work hard for it, you know? That is the start. So business is hectic, business is many things. I keep saying sometimes I no longer recognize myself. I'm like, like business changes you, you're shrewd. I mean, it is what time? And I'm in a studio. That is business, you see? So when you want money, you have to work hard for it. So there's no quick cash, you know? There's no quick cash, and if you're uncomfortable, you need to start the business. You need to take the first step, but do not rush it. Do not rush it. Research about your business. Some people will bring you down with your idea. Other people will build you. Honestly, I think I kept pushing myself at some point. I kept pushing myself. Also, look for a godly purpose that is on your life. One thing that has helped me as a person is knowing that this is what God wants me to do. Every time I am giving a couple happiness, every time these couples trust me, a lady, I've become a daughter in very many homes, you know? So to me, I feel I'm impacting on this world, and there's no way I can be impacting on this world and God is not on my side.
Sure.
So to me, believe in yourself, write this thing down, research, start. I took a route of a service because a service didn't need a lot of capital compared to a product. When you buy a product and you don't sell it, the other person needs their payment. So you get issues. For a service, I took long without getting an office because at that point, I was trying to sell my business. I did not even have money for the rent, for the space. So baby steps. The only problem is that we want to rush it. There are going to be mistakes. I have made the mistakes, but I'm still fighting on. And I'm not yet where I want to be. I hope to get there.
Wow. This is so interesting. Now, this is one last. Send out greetings to the people who have been watching you out there, including Serena.
Yeah, she called me. I really want to say, okay, if the brother hears this, he will finish me, but he's in body. But she sleeps at 8, but she called me and Angela like, what time are you on TV? Then I told her, and I told her for today, you can stay up from 9 to 10. So Serena, good night from mommy. I want to say thank you to everyone for hosting me, for the listeners, my friends. I had to turn off my phone because the messages were many. Yeah, and mostly to BNI, because it's for BNI that I'm here, that I got this invitation. And thank you, Edrine, for being a good host.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for appreciating. And I want to thank you so much, you who started with us. And up to now, you are watching us. We don't take you for granted. Each time you sit, of course, I know you have a lot of things to do. You might be even wishing to sleep at this time. But you've decided to keep it so that you watch Flourishing Hub up to the end. Thank you so much. We can't take you for granted. In a special way, I want to thank one of the viewers, Arnold Mogera. Thank you so much for watching Young and Flourishing Hub at large. But also I've worked with Jonah Jal, the producer who wants to be a DJ. And in transmission, I've worked with Mumuza Nabimanya, the only man in that building who doesn't have a first name. Edrine Osteeen Mukalazi is my name. Next on your screen is evening prayer. But remember to wake up with us with Good Morning Family.